All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. This stream is brought to you by LIVE Products. LIVE, live now, we're live now. Yeah, so breaking news. This came from the Wall Street Journal. Paramount Skydance prepares Ellison-backed bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The majority of the planned bid for Warner Brothers will be made up of cash. This article is by Jessica Toonkel, September 11, 2025 at 5:19 p.m. Yeah, this is breaking news for you guys. Paramount recently merged with Skydance. Paramount Skydance is preparing a majority cash bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. That's backed by the Ellison family, according to people familiar with the situation. The bid will be for the entire company, including its cable networks and movie studio, the people said. Warner said late last year it planned to restructure into two opening divisions, one focused on legacy cable and the other on entertainment. You can read the rest of the article, I guess, in another place. Listen to this as well. In the AI overview of this, it is said that Paramount Skydance is reportedly preparing to bid to buy the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery, a mega deal that would combine major studios, news outlets, and cable networks. This would lead to the creation of Hollywood Behemoth, but has no direct bearing on Restore the Snyderverse movement, which is a fan-driven campaign for Warner Brothers to allow Zack Snyder to complete his planned DC Extended Universe. Well, they say it has no bearing on it, but I'll tell you this. It shows us the state of Warner Brothers that it has to be bought out yet again. So first it was bought out by AT&T, then it was bought out by Discovery, and now it's being bought out by Paramount Skydance. Now, very important for people to understand is this Paramount Skydance actually was bought over, and Michael Bay is being brought back to do the Transformers movies. So if I know anything about Paramount, if they get their way and they get this studio, I do believe we're looking at restoring the Snyderverse. That will happen, as well as Matt Reeves will get his Batman sequel completed, as well as we may get movies like Constantine and several other movies that we're looking forward to seeing. So I think this might be a great move, and we need regime change in Warner Brothers. So hopefully we can get that regime change, and we can get a lot of executives out of there, except for Abdi and DeLuca. I hope they stay. But I really hope that this is a bit of a regime change once again, and a reshuffling, and those bad actors can be removed. They're like fucking parasites in the company. They can be removed from the company, and other players can be put into it. I don't care if it's people from Paramount. I don't really care who they are. But I do hope that this happens so that we can actually get the kinds of films and entertainment we're looking forward to as DC fans and as a fans in general of Warner Brothers products. And I hope it is more director driven, because it seems that Paramount is moving in the direction of trying to get the order of things reestablished that was there before. That would be great. Now, all of this take with a pinch of salt, but I'm just saying that this is something that just came out and I wanted to share it with you guys. I will come back to this a little later. Now, let me do a couple things here. I broke the breaking news, but you know, I had to share this stuff on do a couple things here. What the fuck just happened there? That was crazy. Okay. Oh, okay. So I just kind of like hit myself there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mute all of this. Okay, let me go back in. So fucking weird. Right now, I just want to share this shit, but I don't know how to do it yet. View channel quality share. This is what I want to do. Huh. Okay. Oh, this is some fucked up shit. So I just want to share this on Twitter particularly, and I want to tag in some people. You guys are going to see this in real time. Restore the Snyderverse. Okay, it just did not want to do that. It still doesn't want to do that. That's so fucked up. Okay, I see why. Okay, restore the Snyderverse and Free Palestine. I have a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna want to cover this pretty quickly. I just want to tag in these people. Lord Koj, Mohammed, Leroy Cohn, Harsh Critics, release the Snyder Cut. Oh, come on, god damn it. Oh, fuck, man. Reliz, Chandler, there you go. Mr. Wesley, I can get him. Damien Anton Vincent. Goten. Ajit Leakey. Ahmad. Zack Snyder. One more. I'm only gonna do one more right now. Aaron. Okay, so it's gone. Yay. Close that off. Okay, so let me come out of this. Okay. So that was the breaking news. Let me repeat the breaking news again from the Wall Street Journal. Breaking news. Paramount Skydance prepares Ellison-backed bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The majority of the planned bid for Warner Brothers will be made up of cash. So that's really interesting. I would like to see how that plays out. That's breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. Paramount Skydance is reportedly preparing to bid to buy the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery. That's interesting. I don't know where that will go, but that company looks like it's on track to do some really good stuff. So we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed on that. Yeah. And actually, I have that article also in here on Twitter, where I will come on Twitter and do some other stuff. But here on Twitter, where is it? Let's see here. Here it is. I say, hopefully this happens. Restore the Snyderverse exclusive. Paramount Skydance prepares Ellison-backed bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, discussing film also broke it about 5 hours ago. The Wall Street Journal is the one that burst. I just gave you the original article from the Wall Street Journal. All right, the person who covered that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we'll see how that gets going. That really is called for right now. I can tell you that right now. Restore the Snyderverse when DC cooked. That's right. So we're hoping to see the Snyderverse restored. We will see. Time will tell what actually happens. Okay, anyone got a timeline cleanse, says Surf. What is he responding to? I'm not sure what that timeline cleanse is, but Rand says you can thank me later. And here's that timeline cleanse from the great Zack Snyder.
Fly. Flight is its nature. Yours too.
Guys, let's fly, baby.
He'll be here, Alfred, I know it. What makes you say sure? Faith, Alfred. Faith.
music, ladies and gentlemen.
The original Superman, which is this. You get it. You still feel some like nostalgia and emotional connection to it, even though it's a new piece of music. I'm going to explain why. I'm going to play the Man of Steel theme, and I want you to point out what part of it makes you feel that kind of familiarity of the Superman feel. Let's see. This is why I love Hans Zimmer, because like the original theme uses this iconic major 7 interval, and Hans Zimmer uses that, but he doesn't play the theme. He just uses the intervals between. So you can actually sing the original Superman theme in between Hans Zimmer's version. It's like a puzzle. It's so cool. Then, if you add the new Superman 2025 theme to it, it sounds horrible.
So it's crazy because the amount of thought that went into these movies, as you already do know, you can take Hans Zimmer's theme and you can play Superman 1978 theme, which was composed by the great composer, and you can actually play the both of them together and they coincide. And he's explaining that the chord progressions, the intervals of the chord progressions, they actually coincide with one another. Hans Zimmer actually used similar progressions to what Superman 1978 had, but instead of playing the same melody, he did something different, and he gave a different sort of feel to it as well. So this is what Marcos is exposing to us, and it just points out just how deep the Snyderverse is and just how extensive it is. You know, because James Gunn's Superman has a sort of alternative interpretation of the 1978 theme, the chord progressions are not the same, and that is why they clash with the Hans Zimmer's intervals, which are the intervals of Superman 1978. So just something worth thinking about. I remember doing that. I remember playing Superman 1978 over Hans Zimmer's theme, and they just coincide very well. So I thought that was interesting to note. Restore the Snyderverse, definitely something on the cards. And of course, restore the Snyderverse because also, in addition to that, boom, Paramount might be buying over Warner Brothers. I sure hope that happens. I never thought that Paramount would buy over Warner Brothers, to be honest with you, but I would be very happy if that happens. Sammy says everyone should tag Paramount's picks and ask them to make Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 hashtag and tag in Zack Snyder as well. I didn't tag Paramount Picks. I actually went to Paramount Picks Twitter and I requested that they restore the Snyderverse amongst other things. So I thought I would share that with you guys. There's a couple other things I want to share before I go into Free Palestine. Of course, news broke that Charlie Kirk was assassinated while he was talking on a campus concerning, Zionism and defending a genocide that's going on in Gaza right now, where people are being killed as we speak, also in the West Bank, also in Lebanon, also in Syria, and Yemen. And he was trying to convince the next generation, which he very unsuccessfully did, that they, by backing peace and so on, they're doing evil. And while he was doing that on a campus, he got sniped by a sniper who pretty much killed him on impact. I think he was sniped in his head. And, everybody's in an outrage about this. Here's my take on it. Yes, life is very valuable, and even the most despicable of people, which I think Charlie Kirk is one of them, they have the right to live. They do not have the right to be assassinated. But here's the thing. If you're making a big row over Charlie Kirk's life, what about the lives of the Palestinians? What about the lives of the Lebanese? What about the lives of the Yemenis? What about the lives of the 11 Venezuelans that were bombed for no fucking reason at all today in a boat as they were moving in a ship out of Venezuela, I guess, in the Caribbean Sea? You know, you can't play it one way and then not another, you know? And they're talking about the despicable left and all kinds of bullshit. Let me tell you something, man. And I'm going to say this very clearly so that everybody will understand. I do not condone anybody being assassinated at any time. It's evil. But I can understand why someone would do something like that. Because people are getting fucking tired of their governments betraying them. My government right now in my country is betraying me and trying to go to bed with the U.S. government, which is trying to have regime change. They're trying to kill and overthrow Mr. Maduro right now. And, you know, Trinidad and Tobago has never had bad relations with Venezuela, but now we seem to be getting worse and worse relations with Venezuela as Venezuela starts to threaten us left, right, and center. And I understand why they're threatening us, because if we, American companies are in my country, we are right next door to Venezuela. Now, we've been buying Venezuelan oil and selling it back to these American companies. But the fact that the U.S. is so fucking determined to destroy Maduro, kill him by any means necessary, to have regime change so they can put in their Zionist puppet leader there, you know, it's just so ugly. And we need to support Venezuela as much as we can as a country, as well as Guyana. We can't afford to have bad relations with Venezuela, because let me tell you something. Those American companies, if we side with America, we're going to become just like how Ukraine is. If a battle ensues, we will be the casualties. And we're a wealthy nation. We're a well-to-do nation. The last thing our fucking prime minister should be doing is trying to side with the U.S. government. We know all about colonialism and so on. While we shouldn't let Venezuela railroad us, right, because we're doing them a lot of favors right now, at the same time, we would be stupid to side with America. That's the last country you want to be siding with, because you're going to be destroyed. They'll destroy you. So the situation is pretty dire, because it seems as though U.S. Aircraft have bombed a Venezuelan vessel, the first act of aggression. Now, there are Russian people who are in Venezuela. We also have Chinese people in Venezuela. We also have Chinese people in Trinidad, and we were trying to build relationships with China as Trinidad, and we had their constructors and all their people here. This fucking prime minister we have in our country is trying to side with India and is trying to side with America, and she is a fucking waste of fucking time in my country, okay? This fucking woman has already taken away so many jobs from people, okay? So I'm not going to pretend like, and listen, successive governments have just gotten worse and worse in my country. They're just worse and fucking worse. They're like fuckers. All they know how to do is fuck up a country. Okay, they've sold up all resources and everything. So there is on the ground, both East Indians and African people are beginning to resent successive governments and realize that they're betraying the people. And I sense in the United States of America, the people of the United States of America are being betrayed by their government. They talk about America first, and then they go Israel first, of which Charlie Kirk was a Zionist propagandist for Israel. So the fact that he got sniped is ironic somewhat, because you would think he's preaching the violence on other people. He's preaching the violence on people on campuses. He's preaching the violence towards normal citizens and immigrants. Well, you didn't expect a blowback, motherfucker? You didn't expect at some point somebody's going to lose it and try and take you out? And by the way, this is a notice to the United States government, to Washington, D.C., and all these treacherous motherfuckers out there. You're being put on notice. If they snipe Charlie Kirk, trust me, they're coming for you next. You are next. This is fucking America. And y'all motherfuckers don't understand. You can't keep the people in check, and you're not going to intimidate these people. They carry weapons, they carry arms, and if they turn against you and they turn against your system of government, they'll fucking take you out. And they're not playing games, okay? Charlie Kirk's just the beginning. So if you think you can just do whatever the fuck you want in Washington, D.C., keep at it and see what happens. Fuck around and find out. You didn't listen. You didn't get the memo when Russia started fucking up Ukraine and bombing the fuck out of Ukraine. You didn't get the memo when China just owned your ass when you tried to do your sanctions. You're not getting the memo. You're not getting the memo. Your own people in your country are homeless. Homelessness is at an all-time rate. And my country is copying what you're doing right now. They're retrenching people. They're just turning the people against the government. They're turning the people and their hearts against the government because they're realizing all these westernized fucking governments and even governments in other parts of the world, they're all part of an organized Masonic order in which it's to oppress the people, to extract labor from them, to extract things from them. None of you motherfuckers care about us, the people. It's us against you. And we know it now, without a doubt, in my mind. So Charlie Kirk dying? Oh, I'm shedding tears. No, I'm not. Now, do I think that anyone should assassinate any human being on this planet? No, I don't think it's good. But am I going to shed tears over a Zionist who's been supporting mass murder of other people in other countries? Fuck no. It just so happens he who lives by the fucking sword dies by the fucking sword, according to scripture. So what did you expect? Do you expect them to all be kumbaya and have discussions and theorize with your ass for long? No, people don't have jobs. People don't have work. And you're taking their money and you're financing wars and you expect people to be all cool with that? Fuck no. So Charlie Kirk is just a symptom of how people feel about their governments who are selling them out to the highest bidder. Okay? So if you think for one moment that this is not a sign that you should change direction and start caring about the people and stop killing other people in other countries, well, my friend, you're in for a horrible ride because everybody's life is already miserable as it is. And they're fuming and they're angry and they feel betrayed. And so what happened to Charlie Kirk is just the tip of the iceberg if you keep this shit up. Okay? If you keep your xenophobia and you keep on kicking out people and you keep on imprisoning people without doing charges and you keep on walking through, that's what you get. And I'm sure it's a veteran that sniped that motherfucker. And I'll let you know, your military, when you look for them to be backing you, you may have your loyalists that follow your stupid, crazy ass fucking demonic cause. But when you look for the military, the average Joe out there to support your ass, you're going to find out very soon you're all alone. Okay? Because believe it or not, the person who sniped Charlie Kirk had to have military background. Okay? That's a fact. Whoever sniped him had military background. And while your FBI and CIA is hunting down that person, we will be hunting you down for all the atrocities you have been doing with ICE to the citizens and the non-citizens, the productive people of the United States of America. You attacked us first. We didn't attack you. We were playing your game. Your game was, if you do well and you work hard and you try to do everything right, you could be part of this, of the United States of America. But now we see that the empire is nothing but a greedy, disgusting, warmongering, disgusting vehicle of the devil. We're learning this more and more and more and more and more. And the more I look into this colonialism and this demonic system It only gets me boiling. I get red hot. Okay? Because you are not interested in building families. You're interested in destroying families. You're interested in destroying people. You're interested in extracting as much as you can get from people and using them as tools, and then you use them as fodder. You feed off their energy through what's called energy harvesting. You murder, you kill people on a daily basis. You don't care about the poor. You don't care about the sick. You don't care about the weak. You prey on them. So fuck you is the big lesson that everybody's saying about Charlie Kirk. Nobody's shedding any tears for him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And for the right that wants to put his poster up as if he's some fucking hero, you're a sellout to people all over the fucking world. That's how I feel about it. Because I actually care about people. People who don't have no fucking jobs. People who are homeless. People who are hurting. I see it every single fucking day of my life while other people pass them by as if they don't exist. You care because it's Charlie Kirk. How about the many black people who have been murdered by the police? Nobody said anything. Nobody cared. But you're willing now to boost up security and call a state of emergency and all this bullshit over a despicable guy with despicable reasoning for a state killing out hundreds of thousands of people. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I'm fuming when people try to put Charlie Kirk up on some pedestal. Yes, he was trying to have a discussion, but it was never a fair discussion. It was never fair. And do I care that he died? I do not like any life to be taken. But I truly understand why his life was taken. Okay? And I truly understand where this can go. Because it can go all the way up to Congress. Okay? It can go all the way up to Congress. Because all these people, General Zod had a point. All you people with your endless debates have brought Krypton to ruins, said General Zod. Well, you know what? There are the genuine 1 or 2 or 3 people who are genuine people out there. But a lot of times, most of these fucking politicians have been bought hook, line, and sinker. Their lives are not difficult because they already made it. They got the bag for selling out the countries that they're in. So I am very skeptical of every single fucking politician in this country and in other countries all around the world. Because I don't believe most politicians give one flying fuck about the people. Just as how I don't think that Warner Brothers, most of the company, there are exceptions, gives a flying fuck about DC fans or about the people who go to watch their movies. Or for movies in general. That's how I feel about it. And I know these people are determined. They're not like people, people who are victims of circumstances and stuff like that. No, they're not. They're not. Now, the right tries to make this about the right versus the left thing. Get the fuck out of here with this. If tomorrow, what's that guy's name who represents AIPAC, that black guy from New York? If he was sniped and somebody killed him, I lose no sleep over that. I do not grieve or mourn his loss. Because he's a sellout. That's how I feel about it. Now, different people can have their opinions about these different things. But that's how I feel about it. He's a sellout. And if any senator was to lose their life, who are Zionists, who are promoting war, whether it be Lindsey Graham, whoever the fuck they are, I would lose no sleep over it. I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't mourn for them. Okay? Because what they're doing is so destructive. It's so evil. It's so wicked. It's so callous. It's so betraying of humanity. It's like saying Adolf Hitler died. Okay. And? Okay. So people say it's about a left-right thing. No, it's about a human thing. There are people on the left who support these atrocities being committed all over the world in different countries, all for the sake of Zionism. They're wicked, evil people as far as I'm concerned. How can you take a stand knowing what these people are doing? It's so obvious now. The whole world knows. So that's how I feel about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. People say it's a terrible thing that happened to him. Yes, of course it's a terrible thing that happened to him. You think that's great? You think I'm like, yay, Charlie Kirk got assassinated? No, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy that their lives could be ended just like that. But what I want to know is, how can you be so insensitive and not care about the hundreds of thousands of people who have been murdered? And the thousands of people who have been herded out of their lives, out of their normal dwelling place, into cells and into prisons for no fucking reason at all, but at the whims of a racist government. That's what I want to know. I want to know. See, Bob Marley said it so well. How can they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. You got to fulfill the book. Bob Marley sang about this many, many years ago. Christian people being murdered in Palestine, the Christians are not up in arms about that. Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, everybody's up in arms about that shit. So you care more about a guy who's pushing for war and murder and assassination of people in Iran. You're more for him than the flotilla victims, the people in the flotilla going towards Palestine. Charlie Kirk is more important to you than people trying to save other people's lives. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. College students reacting to Charlie Kirk's death.
Hey, we're just getting people's opinions. Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow, that's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view. Good that people are dying in America. Did you see that Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really have any feelings about it. Who are you?
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes. Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
So if you had a magical wand, a magical button that you could press and keep him from being assassinated, would you press that?
No, I think things happen for a purpose. And if that's how his life was ended, then that's how it was ended. So,
Do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Yeah, he's a I'm like, yeah, he's kind of, you know? I wouldn't wish it to anyone, but I don't think he's politically so correct, you know?
We're gonna step away from this because you're just right. Well, you let him talk. He wants to talk. Who are you? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
You know?
Anyways.
I love the right. I love all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
In my opinion, I think they're going to flip it and say the other way. I think the left has disputes so much hate and brainwashed so many people into doing stupid this. But they're going to flip it and see, oh, he was so hateful and he spewed all this hatred.
They're almost going to say he deserved it.
Yeah, they're going to say he deserved. I've already seen people. That's what I've seen. I've already seen people saying he deserved it. He spews all this hate, and they're going to say because the hate he spewed, he should have gotten that. It's a sign of, I think, what liberalism has done to U.S. society. It's just led to a complete moral decay and decay of morals and just any semblance of humanity. Like, you just degrade people because of your political opinions, but I don't know. I don't have much else to say on that. It's just the same old thing every time.
What's so ironic is people being arrested and put into jail without cause for their political views, but all of a sudden Charlie Kirk gets assassinated for his political views, and the left is also evil and mean. Yet the people, the same college students, are criticizing when Mr. Biden was there, his policy on Palestine, and people getting killed. I don't get it. And under Mr. Biden, they were getting put in prison for or at least arrested and taken out and even mistreated by Zionists. So if this is a left and right thing that Charlie Kirk got killed because he's a right winger or whatever the fuck you're talking about, then explain something to me, please. Please explain this. Explain to me how the general people, knowing what this guy represented, don't lose any sleep over his death. That means he was resented. Now, should the person who sniped him be arrested for murder? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? There is due process, and that guy should be caught and he should be tried for murder. Yes, because you took someone's life. They never had a choice. But if you're going to do that, you better fucking do that also for all of those motherfuckers in Congress who've been advocating for war and for the mass murder of many people, including recently the deaths of some Venezuelan people. Ship. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Do I think that the person who murdered Charlie Kirk was justified? Absolutely not. No one's justified for taking someone's life for no reason at all except for what they say. But at the same time, you can't be saying that on one hand and then arresting people and putting people behind bars and kicking them out countries and stuff for being minorities or poor, or for saying certain things against Israel, or for not having their papers fully justified even though they're productive citizens of the country. And the same thing they're trying to do down here. In fact, they're trying to push racism right now. Certain people who are Indians in the Indo community are trying to push racism. But bit by bit, the Indo community is going to realize they're being betrayed. They're being fucked over. They're going to find out that real quick. Because all those jobs are being lost from URP and from CPEP. CPEP now, the place is in a mess because fucking CPEP's not around anymore to clean up the place. Bit by bit, people are going to realize that all the corruption that happened before, that this particular regime is out to get the middle class and the lower class people, the people trying to struggle to get by. They don't give a fuck about those people. Okay? They don't care about those people. And they're going to look to get rid of you. And they're going to also look to cripple more people. This country and all countries stronger together than apart. And by trying to divide the country along ethnic lines or along whatever lines they're trying to divide the country, they try to do it economically and ethnically. I'm going to tell you this. The day of reckoning's coming because people can only take so much. And we already know revolutions around the world are going to happen if this keeps up because you're dealing with the masses. And as I said before, and I'm going to say it again, you, the people, have all the power in the world, not your governments. You're the ones that put them in power. They're obligated and responsible to you. And if they try to fuck you up. Remember, you have the numbers. Besides civil protests, you can also do citizen arrests and start arresting faulty people. You have numbers. You have way numbers, and you have the expertise. You are the teachers, the lawyers, the police, the doctors, the army, the military, the medical. You are that. You, the masses. Remember that. Empower yourself. Get ready to take action. And don't ever stop. Some of you will get assassinated. Some of you will get killed. But don't ever stop. That's the only way. Restore the Snyderverse, as I said before, is going to happen. Why? Because this is a movement. And it cannot be denied. I have said it time and time again. Regimes come, regimes go. But the people remain. These students are only a reflection of what the people feel. This is what's happening in the West Bank right now. The Israeli military has taken hundreds of young men in the West Bank city of Tulkum hostage. They have ordinary people doing this shit. These are not, terrorists or anything like that. And it's disgusting. And the whole world's seeing it. Miriam Daga, 33, a mother and daughter. She gave her father her kidney. The Israeli airstrike took her life, and she was documenting her people suffering. A soul the world will never forget. You gotta understand what I'm saying. I need you guys to understand what I'm saying. I want to talk a little bit about something that's coming up in sports. Canelo versus Crawford. I know I have my boxing channel, but still, this thing's so big. It's appearing everywhere. And for those of you that are not aware of these two great fighters, let's get a little preview on them.
Rise was meteoric. His skills, power, and discipline led him to take on some of the toughest fighters of his generation. He became the pride of Mexico. But Canelo wasn't the only rising star. In the Midwest, a young Terence Crawford was making his mark. Quiet but lethal in the ring, Crawford's combination of speed and intelligence made him one of the most feared boxers in the world. Terence Crawford! For years, their clash was nothing more than a dream. Imagine this, Canelo and Crawford on the top of the sports pound-for-pound list, possibly sharing the ring together. Didn't seem possible, but soon, fantasy started turning into reality. Canelo spent time at super middleweight, collecting each belt one by one, until he fully conquered the division. Meanwhile, Crawford was on a knockout streak at welterweight, stopping everyone in his path. As the hype grew, the size difference was the major obstacle. Canelo's power thrived at higher weights, while Crawford still had to climb up in weight classes. Talks continued, and with the emergence of Riyadh season and Turkey Al Sheikh, the fight was just a signature away. Still, Canelo resisted dropping weight, while Crawford knew moving up would test his limits.
Everything's happened for a reason, and there's a reason why I'm here.
In 2024, both men had already established themselves as champions across multiple weight classes, but boxing fans weren't letting up. Social media exploded. Canelo Crawford became a trending topic. Even the fighters knew the fight would be made in a matter of time.
If you with me, so it's gonna be different.
And then it finally happened.
We're gonna make history, and it's gonna be a mega event.
Two of the greatest from different divisions agreed to step into the same ring for glory. A fight that will forever change boxing history.
You're gonna be just like everybody else.
On the night of the fight, the whole world will watch closely. The question is no longer about who wins, but about the legacy that they will leave behind and the history they will create together in the ring.
I stepped to him and showed him who is the boss of this fight.
It's Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, the fight the world's been waiting for.
So cool. And just a little bit more here. Terence Crawford.
Don't tell. Yeah, my shoulder messed up, everyone. So don't tell Canelo. Maybe the right, maybe the left, but it's both of them. I'm having problems with my shoulders. Shh, keep that under wraps. Yeah, my.
Charlie Kirk is shot in the neck from 200 yards away, right in the jugular vein. And as people are running away, the police somehow find this guy who is a patsy. He faked the whole thing to divert attention from the real shooter on the rooftop 200 yards away. Then we find out that the shooter managed to escape without a trace. No security camera footage. No one saw him on the campus. Moments after, though, the shooting takes place, you have Benjamin Netanyahu who comes out and tweets about this before anyone else, before Trump even, the personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Then a few moments later, you have Netanyahu come out and say that I was speaking to Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago. I invited him to Israel. What? You invited him to Israel after he was saying all these things about Mossad, about Gaza, about Iran, and he was getting all this flack for having Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith speak at TPUSA. All of your Hezbollah agents were attacking Charlie Kirk, and you decided to stop your schedule, bombing 7 countries in the middle of this political crisis, and you're free to have a conversation with Charlie Kirk, call him and say that he needs to come to Israel to kiss the wall again, and presumably he said no. Am I missing something? Because a lot of the Israelis and their Hezbollah agents online are saying, you can't talk about that. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're just trying to tie everything to Israel. No, this is a political assassination of one of the most famous political commentators in the country. I'm allowed to ask questions about whatever I want. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. Do I think it's interesting that JFK's shooter was never found? RFK's shooter was never found? Princess Diana's murder was covered up? The 9/11 story was obviously covered up? Do I think it's interesting that the Epstein list was never released? Do I think it's interesting that this is all happening right now and the shooter's still not found? Yes, I do. And I'm going to keep asking questions.
Arab civilization ended up giving you zero, algebra, algorithms, astronomy as we know it. They've affected our language. Sugar, zero, cipher, zenith, nadir, admiral, apricot. Those are all Arabic words. Algebra. And somehow we've written the Arab world out of our history. They're the guys who figured out that all objects in the universe exert gravity 600 years before Newton stated it. In fact, the guy who came up with that, Ibn al-Haytham, who was an Arab from Iraq, also stated the world's first ever scientific method 600 years before any European did. He stated Newton's first law of motion 600 years before Newton. He stated Kepler's first law of motion 500 years before Kepler. He's the guy who figured out the lens. I really like him. He's also the guy who made the world's first ever camera, the camera obscura. He's the guy who figured out you could break light into its constituent colors, that it traveled in waves, that it had a finite speed. He wrote 200 books, mostly on math. Ibn Sina, Persian, is the guy who founded modern medicine. He's the reason why we know to wash our hands, interrupt transmission vectors.
A man enslaved to lust is the lowest of slaves. Desire devours him, strips him of will, leaves him hollow. He thinks he's free, yet every chain is fastened by his own hands. He laughs while falling, feasts while starving, dies while pretending to live. Lust is not pleasure, it is decay. It rots the body, corrodes the mind, and poisons the soul.
Interesting. Restore the Status verse says, it would be amazing with so many levels of Paramount brought WB and let Zach and company restore the Snyderverse with Justice League 2 and 3. Let Ben make the Batman movie along with making Man of Steel 2. They'd make billions of dollars from them, and it would be a dream come true. Not forget also the Air Cut and Constantine, as well as the ending of Wonder Woman being revised. I would love for all of that to happen. It might be just a dream, as well as getting the Side Adam movie that would come out, as well as several other projects, including the Cyborg movie and a proper Green Lantern movie. I would love to see all of that come to fruition. You never know, because as I said before, Paramount right now courting with Michael Bay to take back up the Transformers franchise. I wouldn't be surprised if they court with Zack Snyder to get, Zack Snyder's Justice League going. So we have to wait and see. Again, this is news that was reported in the Wall Street Journal. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. Hamas leaders escaped Israeli assassination. And hey, by the way, that Charlie Kirk thing, I may have to revise my view on Charlie Kirk there, because it seems as though he was changing his mind, in which case it could have been, and Israel is known for this, they're very successful at assassinating people. They're also very successful at blowing things up. So this is not surprising if Israel was behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And, I was not following Charlie Kirk like that. I knew that he was a Zionist, but it could be that he decided to change his mind and have a change of heart, and that could have been why he was assassinated, okay? So maybe we should investigate it further. We will see, gentlemen. Hamas leaders escaped Israeli assassination because they left their phones in the meeting room when they went to pray collectively in another room. This is the kind of story that will make those guys legends among the Muslim Brotherhood crowd. Saved by praying. Imagine that. All right. Mohammed shared this. Israeli evidence so far is insufficient to revoke Shifa's protections. And last but not least, I would absolutely love to see DC finish the Snyder storyline in an animated movie. What do you think? So the silly, stupid stuff gets multi-million-dollar live-action films that look cheap, but the big epic saga only gets to be told in animation? This makes no sense. As much as I like animation, it's live-action or bust. Restore the Snyderverse. Thank you, Paul Pulsack. I never heard of Paul Pulsack, but whatever. And that's what I've got for you guys today. That's it. That's my feature for you guys. I hope that you guys have a great day. I see that even though I have an hour here, my stream may not be picked up by people, or it may be. I don't know. We will see in a time. They may have, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Peace to everybody. I'll try and spread this thing even further.